समस्तजनकल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, verse 39. We start today. I'll read the verse. एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण छेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यसंशयस्यास्य छेत्ता नद्युपपद्यते. The translation goes, this doubt of mine, O Krishna, please dispel completely, because it is not possible for anyone but you to dispel this doubt. See, you can notice the confidence Arjun shows in Krishna as a teacher. He says that there is no one else who can dispel my doubt except you. So that much confidence he has built. Now his earlier doubt kya tha Arjun ka? The earlier doubt was that if somebody is a yoga bhrashta means fallen from sadhana, or the sadhana has been curtailed in some way or the other, or come to an abrupt stop because of maybe death, or because of strong vasanas, the sadhana is suddenly curtailed. So, what happens to such a person? Remember, he had asked that does he get destroyed completely like a rent cloud? That is the simile Arjun had given. Remember, he said that does he get completely destroyed like a rent cloud, totally destroyed? Hmm? And this doubt, now the next doubt he is asking, hmm? And this doubt is what? See, first doubt is this that my no no sorry, I'm sorry. The first doubt was that the mind is turbulent, and since the mind is turbulent, it can never be calm. So the philosophy has no legs to stand on. It is a useless philosophy because the mind's nature is completely different to what the philosophy is asking you to do. So, how can one calm the mind? This was the first doubt. The second doubt is this one, that does a yoga bhrashta get completely destroyed? And in this verse, he is saying, he is asking that only you can answer this question, nobody else can. Because when a teacher is speaking, there is a kind of a mental evaluation of the teacher's words in the student's mind. The student is continuously evaluating what the teacher is saying, and how does that apply to his life? He is continuously doing that, right? And many doubts, see, if you tune in very well with the teacher, so many doubts get cleared during the satsang only. When the teacher is speaking, if you're nicely tuned in with the teacher, then many of your doubts which you want to know, which you want to ask, get cleared automatically. And uh, uh, many times, you have heard students saying that this talk was totally for me. Have you heard that? Yeah. Many times students say that today, ma'am, you spoke directly to me. I felt that everything you were saying is connected to my life, because it is not that you have tuned up to the teacher's mind. When you tune up to the teacher's mind, then the teacher speaks directly to you. You don't have this unseen cord connected from one mind to another mind, from one heart to another heart. It is true. And that is the reason the teacher is able to visualize what the students are going through, what are their difficulties, even in life or in their sadhana, and the teacher is able to address those doubts. If this is the correct teacher, if there's a right teacher, and you are tuned well to that teacher. It's very important for the student to tune into the teacher. If you have doubts about the teacher, then you should not listen to that teacher, because you will gain nothing. You will learn nothing. Okay, na? So that's very important. Come to then verse 40. श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Now the Lord is answering Arjun, O Partha. Parth means also means Parthiv Sharir. Parth means made of mud. You and I are created by Prakriti. We are Partha. Prithuputra also Partha. And also this other meaning, that made out of mud. So when Krishna wants to tell him that, oh, you muddy headed fool, or oh, you stupid man, then he calls him Partha. So, O Partha, neither in this world nor in the next world is there destruction for him. None verily who strives to do good, O my son, comes to grief. Now, there are a few words that are very important in this verse. Supposing the Lord is saying that supposing the progress is cut short by untimely death or even timely death, and you have not reached your goal, or there is a very strong vasana pull and you fall from your sadhana, then what happens? देखो गुरुदेव बड़ी स्ट्रांगली ये बात कहते थे, you can practice this in your life. Vasanas will pull you. Vasanas have a very, very strong pull. But if you are sadhak, if you're a seeker for the truth, then us vasana ko you should sublimate that vasana. That same vasana you can treat as a pure thing that you are doing. Treat it as a noble thing, treat it as a pure thing, treat it as a service to the Lord, treat it as a service to anybody, and then indulge in it, and also keep praying to the Lord that, oh Lord, make this whole thing beautiful for me, make this whole thing purifying for me, make this whole thing uplift me. So your vasana will also be quenched, and you will also rise cleansed from them. You will be surprised, and I'm talking from experience again. When a strong vasana pulls you down, Gurudev advised, take a bath like you take a bath in the Ganges, holding those big iron chains. Take the dip and come out, praying to the Lord. Those chains are holding on to the Lord's feet. That save me from the flow, from the detrimental flow, from the degenerative flow, from the destructive flow of this vasana. Please save me. I am at your feet. I am indulging in this because I cannot help it. The vasana is too strong. Believe me, everybody has strong vasanas of some kind or the other. You will be pulled to that vasana, whether it is good or bad. आपको खींच के ले जाएगी. So at that time you have to sublimate that vasana. Okay, so here look what the Lord is saying. He is giving such a strong assurance to Arjun, which is nowhere else in literature. Nobody has given this kind of assurance that he is giving over here. Look, and this emotion is not this. Sorry, this assurance is not given out of just an emotional. It's not an emotional outburst by the Lord. He is giving a very sturdy, strong support to Arjun, and he says that my devotee or the doer of good deeds is not destroyed neither in this world nor the next world. अब देखो वर्ड यूज्ड इज लोक, है ना, इस वर्स में है क्या? नहीं कल्याणकृत कृत कश्चित दुर्गतिम तात गच्छति. उसकी दुर्गति नहीं होती. No matter where he goes, what he does, he will not be destroyed. Huh? Now look how the Lord saves. Now next worlds, he is talking of two worlds. He says neither this world nor next world. कह रहे हैं ना, that this is the Lord saying. And he is saying there is no destruction, for the word used is kalyanakrit. Kalyanakrit means one, a doer of good deeds. Kalyan means deeds that bring about the welfare of other people. That is Kalyanakrit. That person is Kalyanakrit, who, whatever he does, that deed should benefit others. वो कल्याणकृत हो गया, sublimate हो गया ना आपका action. It has become pious. It has become noble. Kalyanakrit, the doer of right action. Also understand when he talks of this world and the next world. तो फिर क्या हो गया? Are there more worlds? Yes, there are. There are two different interpretations of this word world. एक लोक कहते हैं ना संस्कृत में, लोक. इस लोक में, परलोक में. परलोक भी बोलते हैं. Parlok means the other world. Now, the first interpretation is that everybody's lok is his field of experience. A doctor's world is different from an engineer's world. An artist's world is different from a businessman's world. An artist, when he looks at a chinar tree, beautiful leaves turning red and copper, he says, what beautiful colors nature has. I could paint these. Will I be able to bring out the exact color? There is a businessman also standing who is looking at the same chinar tree. And that businessman is saying, if this tree is cut and the wood is sold, for how much will the wood sell? So how much does this tree cost? Because that is his world. Dekho, the object is the same, and there are two different minds connecting that object according to their world. ठीक है ना? So even in nature, a doctor does not get transferred to a hydroelectric project or a production house, and an engineer doesn't get transferred to a hospital surgical room, because they will both make a mess of it, isn't it? Huh. So now coming to the next word, that how can nature go wrong? So when nature transfers one individuality from one body to another body, nature will connect that mind and intellect to a similar body than what he had in the previous birth. He will not go wrong, because the mind and intellect is the loka of that person for him to function in. And he can function in only according to his own mind and intellect. So if he gets a different kind of body, है ना, देखो था तो वो सिंगर पिछली लाइफ में, and I am talking of past life, future life, this life, because Hindus believe in reincarnation. I'll come to that also. So if this body was a singer's body, let's say Lata Mangeshkar, can she become a spin bowler in her next life? Nature will not transfer her to become a cricketer. Nature will transfer her again with a beautiful voice, with a lovely singing talent, and she will, when she takes on a new body, she will continue her singing sadhana. समझ में आया? So she doesn't get destroyed when this body gets destroyed. देखो destruction किसका होता है? Please very carefully. Destruction, death happens only to the body. ध्यान से सुना. Death happens only to the body. The mind and intellect live on. Carefully. The mind and intellect is a subtle body which is not destroyed when you take rebirth. The subtle body, that is the mind and intellect, which is made up of your likes, dislikes, vasanas, memories, this, that, takes on the kind of body, chooses the kind of body which will help this kind of set of mind and intellect to live one's desires. So a similar kind of body the mind and intellect will take. देखो, experiences will live on. देखो, when you say, when somebody dies, है ना, तो आप क्या कहते हैं? मर गया. आप कहते हैं ना हिंदी में मर गया. तो मरी तो बॉडी इज लाइंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. गया कौन? सोचो, कौन गया? The mind and intellect individuality has left. Similarly, in English, you say dead and gone. If you say gone, who has gone? The dead body is in front of you. You say dead and gone. Gone where? Who? Socho. Then in Marathi, you say gela. Gela, कौन गेला? कहाँ गेला? कौन गेला? Huh? In English, you also say passed away. My uncle has passed away. That means the uncle was inhabiting that body, the uncle was wearing that body, using that body, but that body is still here. Uncle has left the body, uncle has gone from there. There is no more uncle in that body. सोचो जरा, सोचो. सो गया क्या? कौन गया? कहाँ गया? You say let him rest in peace. Whom? Let him rest in peace. Who should rest in peace? Whom are you praying about? The mind and intellect, the individuality of that human being who was inhabiting that body. You are praying for the subtle body. You are not praying for the gross body. Gross body is dead over here. ठीक है? So death is the condition of the body. A body alone. Mind and intellect experience through the body. The body is only an instrument of experience. Mind and intellect experience through the brain. But the mind and intellect is not a tangible thing which you can hold, touch, feel, smell, taste. That is why it is called subtle body. It's not gross. It's called a subtle body. Okay? हाँ. अच्छा, अभी जब आप ऐसे कहते हैं so new body is needed. New body is needed for the mind and intellect. So the body chooses another world. इसमें दो worlds की बात है ना. Neither destruction in this world nor in the next world. You must have, the Hindus do not accept anything blindly. It is the temperament. Superstition नहीं है. आप जो बात कह रहे हो कि ये दुनिया छोड़ के दूसरी दुनिया मिलती है, how? Have you got any proof? Has anybody come back to tell you? No. So even if the Lord is saying it, we do not give any God the prerogative to give us a command or a statement without support. Krishna will have to support the statement he is giving. He has to tell you कि हाँ दूसरी दुनिया होती है या दूसरा जन्म होता है, और किस basis पे, on what basis is he saying this? Okay, there is, in Hinduism, there is no bypassing the intellect, and therefore all Hindu knowledge, go to whichever scripture you like, and there are thousands of them. They are all based on question and answer, question and answer. The student catches hold of the teacher by the collar and says, ये तो समझा दो, आप ये जो बोल रहे हो इसकी logic क्या है? How can you prove that it so happens? Because many religions believe that you have only one life. They might be right. How do you say that you are right? देखो, nobody has come back to tell you that it happens. So there is something called knowledge of inference. Knowledge of inference is that supposing you see smoke somewhere, you have not seen the fire. Don't you say that वहां पे आग है, वहां पे आग लगी हुई है? क्यों? आग देखी आपने जाके? नो, you only saw the smoke. Smoke is a knowledge of inference that if there is smoke, there has to be fire. Similarly, in this, even if a prophet is speaking, the actual Vedantic student is not going to swallow it down. Okay, if you are a faithful, you better listen to the Lord. It is the statement of the Lord and you have to swallow it down. No, no. Hindus will not swallow it down. Whether it is the Lord Himself speaking, or it is a prophet speaking, or it is a saint speaking, the Hindus want support of the statement and logical support, intellectual support. Hmm? It is not something like this that if you are a faithful, you must believe what the Lord is saying. Otherwise, your soul will go to hell. Nahin, nahin. The Hindus say we are ready to go to hell, but we will honor our intellect, we honor the dignity of the intellect. So explain to me through my intellect, through right logic, okay, how you say this. So Hinduism is a science. Hinduism is a scientific religion. It teaches you through logic. Everything is reasoned out and given. ठीक है? अब आप रीजनिंग आउट में आप मेरे को पूछेंगे कि हाउ इज दिस कि जी you take another birth. Okay. Now the teacher has to explain convincingly. Have you heard of parapsychology? There is a full area of psychology called parapsychology. A lot of research on parapsychology is being done in Jaipur University. A lot of research on parapsychology is being also done at Columbia University, New York. Have you read the book Many Lives, Many Masters? It is by a Columbia professor who has done many experiments on people, and he makes them go retro into their past lives, and they remember things from their past lives, and they have been proven true. So if you come to the conclusion that there is a past life, then there will also be a future life. Understand? It is the same theory of cause and effect in the world. It is the same theory which goes that one thing causes another. What is the cause of a boy who is born to a beggar? What is the cause of his birth? What is the cause of the boy who is born as a king's son? कोई तो cause होगा ना? Or you think that is just chance? Somebody gets born as a king, someone gets born as a beggar. No. Somebody is born beautiful, somebody is born ugly. Somebody is born talented, somebody is a dullard. Somebody is very intelligent, very bright, very witty, and some ऐसे chance नहीं होता. The mind and intellect chooses the genes, chooses the parents, chooses the house where it will help them further to evolve and grow in whatever are their desires, whatever are their talents, whatever are their vasanas, whatever is the level of their spirituality. So understand that. That is why he says that present good deeds become turn into future good results. A Kalyanakritam human being who is doing kalyan to others, who is doing working for the welfare of other people, is a person whose life will translate further into joy, into happiness, and also into his own welfare. Because cause and effect. So a doer of good gets back goodness into his own life. And death, those philosophies that consider death as the end, are a very basic philosophy. It's a very, very basic philosophy that you cannot imagine, or you cannot even try to visualize or try to think deeply about what caused a certain birth and what will cause the next birth. In parapsychology, you have many, many cases where people remember their past lives. You must have also met people who have remembered their past life. You must have read at least newspaper stories of people found who remembered their past lives, their past names, their past family, and also the town where they belonged and the house where they lived. And what was the cause of their death? That also they remember. Socho zara. I also know some people who used to keep on saying when they were kids that this is my house and this is where I used to live. So what is that? It is a memory carried over from the past which has not got obliterated because it was a very strong memory. Okay, so there it has a scientific basis, and you, if you are intelligent, you will question philosophies, you will understand philosophies, you will accept a law only when it is proved to you, and you will also question the goal and meaning of life. You will not live just like that. So there is a cause and effect scientific law working in the universe, in all nature. So it also applies to the human life. What is the cause of the first heartbeat? The cause is the last heartbeat in the last life. The last body is the cause of the present body. ठीक है? So this is a continuation of life that happens from the past to the present to the future, and you have evolved from a unicellular organism. Go to Darwin's theory. From where you have evolved and you have come here, which our Hindu scriptures say that पता नहीं कितने लाखों करोड़ों योनियों में से होके आप आए हैं, हाँ? So many wombs you have changed and to become a human being, and that is why the human life is very rare, very, very rare. So Vedanta is a philosophy that teaches you how to be joyous, how to have hope, and the assurance given directly by the Lord Himself that good deeds bring good results, and my student who does good deeds never will be destroyed ever. And he confirms it. देखो, Christian Bible says, as thou sowest, so shalt thou reap. So reap not only in this life, because in this life you will see many good people suffering. We will come to that later. Here he says, "O my son." देखो वो उसको कहते हैं ना, हाँ? देखो, he says, "O Partha." So "O Partha" means "Oh my son," almost it means, and he's saying, "Oh my son." Sorry, come to the this we've done. Come to the next verse. प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते. Now this verse is the answer to what Arjun was asking, and Arjun was saying that देखो यहाँ पे वो कहते हैं having attained to the worlds of the righteous, again worlds, huh? As I have explained worlds to you, and having dwelt there for everlasting long years. He who had fallen from yoga is born again in the house of the pure and the wealthy. Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe. Wealthy over here does not mean that you will be a multimillionaire. That's not what it means. Wealthy means a person who is well to do enough that he does not have to struggle for his food and lodging. He is called wealthy. Also, here in this context, that because then he will get the time to do his sadhana. If from morning to evening that person is only busy earning his food, then where does he get the time to do his sadhana? He is not wealthy, He is just a laborer. Even if he is working from morning to evening in a job that gives him tons and tons of money, even then he cannot be considered wealthy because he has no time to grow. He can progress materially only. That is not the goal of life, because at the time of death, there will be nothing in his hand. All that he has earned in his life will go. So he says that having attained to the worlds of the righteous, that means those who do good deeds, those who do sadhana, those who do righteous deeds, and having dwelt there for everlasting long years. When he says everlasting long, everlasting का मतलब क्या है? Everlasting means for a long period, for a long time. देखो, don't take it literally. हम लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, देखो क्या बोलते हैं, हम लोग बोलते हैं my house is right on the sea. When we say that, what does that mean? It doesn't mean that it is in the middle of the sea. When you say my house is on the sea, it means right on the beach. If somebody is working on in tea gardens, don't they talk like this? That, are you also in tea? In tea doesn't mean in a teacup. It means working in a tea garden. है ना? You say, are you into manufacturing? Are you into the car business? Into or in, when you say, it means dealing with. So here also, look what it means. It only, when you say everlasting, everlasting only over here means very long time. So for a very long time, he lives in a very beautiful, conducive to his vasanas world. He is born into a family, and after, he says, having attained to the worlds of the righteous, after having lived in heavenly surroundings and having dwelt there for everlasting years, you know, he gets the fruit. देखो karma theory है ना, good deeds done, you have to reap the benefits. So you will be born in a household which is very comfortable, family which is very comfortable. It gives you all your needs, right? And so such a family you will be born into, and having dwelt there for a long time, then he who had fallen from yoga is born again in the house of the pure and the wealthy. Pure over here means those who have moral values, those who have extremely good values, and they do good to others, they have noble values, they have satsang in the house, ethically perfect living. Those which people have, he is born into such a family where he also learns to live in an ethically perfect way, right? And also, I have told you that Shuchinam means pure and Srimatam means comfortable in life, and he will attain to such a world after enjoying great pleasures for long years. In, when he says some other world, heaven is not some area in the clouds or somewhere. Here it only means that he will get a world in this very world where he will be very joyous, very comfortable, very happy. ठीक है ना? So this is the kind of life that he will get. A yoga bhrashta person will get this kind of life. Next verse says, this is an important verse. Bhaiya. Dekho, the previous verse probably talks of people like us, but this verse talks of much higher than us. It says, अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्वे दुर्लभतरम् लोके जन्म यदीदृशम्. It says, or he is even born in the or he is even born in the family of the wise yogis. Verily, a birth like this is very difficult to obtain in this world. The Lord Himself is saying that to be born in a family of yogis, to be born as a yogi's son, is very difficult. This birth is very rare. Only an extremely purified individual with a mind and intellect of a Mahayogi can be born to a Mahayogi's house. ठीक है? So this is a verse which is giving an assurance that don't think you will be destroyed. Okay, just one minute. Don't think that you will be destroyed at all. You will be born to a very wise man who is a yogi, जिनके घर में सत्संग होता है, जिनके घर में there is all the time talk of Vedanta, there are people meditating, there is all that arti and all that happening in your house. But in such a house, which Gurudev explained, you get immediate birth. There is no waiting period. In the last one, there is a waiting period, you notice? He says, for having lived for long, for everlasting long years, in very happy situations, that person gets a new birth. Here it is not like that. He says that immediately, and you will get a birth. There is no waiting period. Gurudev explained it is a durlabhataram. Durlabhataram means very, very difficult. Etadvi durlabhataram loke. Such a world, to get such a world, to get a world means environment, to be born in such an environment is very, very difficult, and you will, that is why people like Shankara, Ramana Maharishi, Gautam Buddha, Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, these are people where since birth they are exposed to all this, and they are already at that level where in a second their mind can turn, with a word their mind can turn, with a sentence of their teacher their mind can turn, and it can turn completely. हम लोगों को देखो, we go on listening to satsang, we go on listening to talks, be around with realized masters, and still we are where we are. So ours is that previous stage, that you go to Shuchi Nam Srimatam Gehe. This one goes to a yogi's house, Yoginam eva. Okay, so this birth, and we keep on complaining कि we go on saying हमारी तो situation in life ही ऐसी है, हम क्या करें, this that, I have no time, I have no this, I have no that. ये ऐसे नहीं होता है. You are put in a situation where you deserve. So whenever you are faced with a situation that you feel is not conducive to your sadhana, please understand that it is in this very situation that you need to lift yourself. आप जमीन पे गिरते हो, उसी जमीन का सहारा लेके तो उठते हैं ना आप. So that is your area, that is your field of sadhana, and that is the sadhana you have to do, and you have to continue to do. So don't think that you are a Buddha or a Ramakrishna. Most of us are not. और जो हैं उनको ये सब समझाने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती. They come with such a heavy past carryover that in one sentence, in one line, their minds turn. And very early in life, their minds turn. That is why I gave you the example of Ramana and people like Vivekananda or Ramakrishna and others, that from the beginning, they are different kind of people. They have superhuman intelligence. They have supreme knowledge of their own. They are not like you and me. They are very different kind of people. From the very beginning, they are different. This is this rare birth. A little bit of material vasana is left. That is why they get the body. Otherwise, they won't even get a body. And after exhausting those little vasanas, they have very heavy spiritual vasanas, which they have to live out in this life. Like a Swami Chinmayananda must be having very, very heavy spiritual vasanas and the vasana of teaching fools like me and others. That is why he was there. The Lord sent him to that loka where he can benefit so many even after his realization. कितनों का कल्याण करा गुरुदेव ने, सोचो जरा. Lakhs and lakhs of people around the world have benefited. And those people are now trying their best to benefit others. Whether they are successful or not is different, but they are at least trying. That is all the Guru Seva that they are doing. So understand that in this verse, this person, nature cannot err. Only those who are the very, very deserving ones come to this kind of birth. So the 43rd verse we will do next time. ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्